Hey, my flossy friends, this is Tyler with WillitStitch. I am back with you with my end of January, beginning of February cross-stitch update. The last video that I put out was my whip parade that I filmed and posted in the week between Christmas and New Year's. I want to say thank you to everybody who did end up watching, subscribing, commenting, doing all the things that we do here in this community. Before I filmed and posted that video, I had, I know for sure, less than 2,000 subscribers. Now I'm just over 2,300, which is amazing. So I want to say thank you to everybody who enjoyed my whip parade and then also joined in on the giveaway, which if you had watched through the end of the video, I did ask for your favorite project and you would have been entered to win a $25 like virtual gift card to any cross-stitch shop of your choice. So I do have the winner here for the giveaway from my whip parade. Seeing as I have shot over 2,000 subscribers, I'd like to do the same thing here. At this time, I don't know what the code word or anything's going to be. We'll figure that out as I film this video. But the winner of the whip parade giveaway, the $25 gift card, is Bonnie Cossie Boone 977. So if you could reach out to me via email, or you can message me directly on Instagram. Same name is on here, WillitStitch, and let me know what shop it is that you'd like to use in your email. I will go ahead and send over that $25 virtual gift card to you. So congratulations, Bonnie. I do have several notes here. I had several mentions that I want to make sure that I notate here. In the past, I haven't been the best historian and kept track of all of these things. And even this morning when I went through my notifications, I didn't realize that your YouTube notifications only go back 4 weeks. So if there was anybody that had mentioned me that I don't have on this list, I'm so incredibly sorry. I will do better moving forward. One, Stitching with DMC. This was Karen and Kathy. They did mention me, and I believe this was their whip parade that they had posted. I had watched their video while I was actually taking down my Christmas tree in my bedroom. I put up 5 trees this year. And so I was taking down Christmas in my bedroom when that video dropped. So thank you so much to Karen and Kathy. And then Audrey over at Stitch Bead, she graciously, excuse me, mentioned my video in hers as well. She also, I believe, like reposted something on Instagram. I don't even know how to do that in the stories. So thank you so much, Audrey. That was so kind. I know I got a lot of viewers coming in from your mentioning of my video. Next one, Sarah Stitchy Spot. Of course, we all love Sarah over at Sarah Stitchy Spot. She mentioned me as well, had some really kind words to say. And actually, she posted a whip parade, I believe it was yesterday, and I just got finished watching that this morning. And I was watching Christy over at Crosshatch Quilts, her latest video that she posted last night. I was watching that right before I filmed this, so I'm excited to get back to that one. And then the fourth mention that I have notated down is Marlene and Carlene over at Sun City Stitchers. They're twins. They had a phenomenal whip parade that they did. I believe that was back in December, and they actually motivated me to, or influenced me rather, to make a couple purchases based on some of the things that they shown. So thank you so much, ladies. I've also got a very long list of new to me or new Flosstubers in general that I've watched between my whip parade and now that I just want to make sure to mention here. That's something that I'm going to try to do moving forward, is mention some of the other Flosstubers that I've been watching, maybe, you know, gain some traction over at their channels. So the first one that I want to mention is Akia Whip, that is Erica and Kevin. They are a husband-wife duo. They stitch together, and they're just a lot of fun. I really enjoy the projects that they're working on, and I enjoy their videos. Next is Angie the Craft NATO. I really enjoyed her whip parade. She's works on a lot of the same things that I work on, it looks like. And I believe she's also working on Pretty Pumpkins by Glendon Place. I haven't seen anybody else work on that. I believe she was thinking of restarting that one, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm really excited to see her progress on it as I continue to work on mine. Jennifer Spence, for some reason, she was new to me. It looks like she's been making floss tubes for a while now. I really enjoyed her whip parade, her approach to stitching. I don't believe she's gotten into sampler stitching yet, but I'd commented to her, hold off as long as you can, because once you start, it's really hard to do anything other than samplers. The Lancashire Stitcher, Lynn, she had, I believe it was a 3 or 4 part whip parade. She does a lot of fancy ladies. She does samplers. I mean, you name it, she does it. I was so excited to find her channel, and I've been watching every update that she's put out since. So I'd give her a look if you're into all that. Daybreak Stitcher, Jerica, I found her as well. I really love her soothing voice and everything that she chooses to work on. She just finished Kringles by Little House Needleworks, and that looks phenomenal. Slow Snail Stitching Sam, she posted, I guess it was an unintentional whip parade, but she did, I believe it was 2 hours on every project that she had. So on her last update, she basically did a whip parade, and that was a lot of fun to watch as well. Thank you, Sam. Stitch Me Sane, this is Carla. I believe she's in Australia or New Zealand. I'm so sorry, I didn't make note of that. But she does a lot of full coverage in Carolyn Manning's. If you love Carolyn Manning's, I would definitely give her channel a look, because she's got several Carolyn Manning's on the go, and several that she's planning on finishing this year, which I'm not a full coverage stitcher, but after watching her, I want to possibly get 1 or 2 full coverages in my rotation. Maybe. We'll see. Ashley X Stitches, she is a fairly new Flosstuber. I think she's on video 3 or 4 at this point. I've been watching her since day 1. I haven't mentioned her since now. I don't know why, but she's got a lot of phenomenal stitches, and I'm excited to see her grow her channel. Go Stitch Nat, this is Natalie. She posted her very first Flosstube video a couple weeks ago. She lives outside of New Orleans in Baton Rouge, I believe. She's primarily a knitter, but she's gotten into cross stitch recently, and she has a lot of phenomenal projects as well, so I'd give her a look. Melly Ellie Stitches, Melanie, I thoroughly enjoyed her whip parade. There's a lot of things that I've added to my to-do list after watching that video, so thank you. Peggy's still stitching. I always enjoy watching her videos. She had a really great whip parade as well. Definitely want to suggest that one. Brittany Cross Stitches, she was new to me. It looks like she's been making videos for a while as well, and she does a lot of fancy ladies, and if you like fancy ladies, I would definitely check out Brittany Cross Stitches. And then I've got a friend who filmed a very first whip parade a few weeks ago, Katie Ann Stitches. She lives in the Florida Panhandle as well. We're hoping at some point in 2026 to get together and have a stitchy day. But she recently just started stitching as well. I think within the last year and a half. She's got Mirabilia finishes. She finished some artsy housewife. Her needle is just on fire, and she's got a lot of energy. She's definitely an Aries if I have ever met one before in my life. Samplers with Blue, I've really been enjoying her videos. She's really soothing. She works on a lot of reproduction samplers. She's doing what's it called, an ornament a month, and she's asking for feedback and voting on those ornaments every month, so that's really fun. And then new to me is the quilt junkie Jenny. She did a whip parade, and I was just blown away at the beauty of everything that she's working on. There's several things that I've added to my wish list and my to-do list. One of them being, I believe it's an American flag. It might be a 13 colonies flag. I can't quite remember, but it's full coverage. It looks dingy. It's beautiful. And then other than that, some of the other cross-stitch channels that I do watch frequently, one would be Donna over at Cross Stitch on the Hill. She's got a phenomenal channel. She posts very regularly, which is really nice. And she does a lot of like blackbirds and oh goodness, what do they call it? Prairie schoolers as well. And I really enjoy her videos. Another one that I religiously watch is Stitch, Read, Repeat. This is Caitlin. She is up in Delaware, I believe. I feel like me and her have a very similar approach to stitching, and a lot of the things that I'm interested, it seems like she's interested as well, and vice versa. And she is just so positive. Like, I always leave watching her videos feeling good about humanity and about myself and the world. So if you haven't seen Caitlin's channel, I would definitely give her channel a look. She just posted a video, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, and I was really excited to be able to watch her again. Sloan Stitches, Jess, she is always working on something beautiful, and I know she had joined the Halfway to Halloween sale that myself and Jason X Stitches had hosted. We started that last year in May, I believe. So it's always really fun to get a mention from her when she's worked on her Halloween piece. And so I think that's it for now. But moving forward, I am going to try and shout out some of the other Flosstubers that are either new to me, or that I religiously watch. So as far as my stitching goes, I did complete a blessing sampler, so that was a start and finish here in January. I started it the 1st of January and finished it on the 29th. I had a total of 6 starts since you've seen me last, and I worked on 11 of just my regular whips. So we will go ahead and start with my blessing sampler. This was started, like I said, on the 1st of January, and I finished it on the 29th. This is what this pattern is. It's Stars and Stripes by Cherished Stitches. This came as a full kit. I had purchased this off a Facebook de-stash group a couple years ago. So inside here, it's got all of the finishing materials, the lace, the ribbon, all of that. And this is my finish, my little blessing sampler finish. This was a lot of fun to work on. The colors are beautiful. They are variegated flosses. I'm not sure what flosses they are. They just have a number next to them. I do have a fairly large mistake in here. I'm not going to point it out. If you see it, kudos to you. I'm not frogging. It just is what it is. And this is about as large of a blessing sampler as I'm able to produce in 1 month. Some of y'all are doing like massive, like Plum Street size blessing samplers. Kudos to you. I mean, that's just, yeah, I could never, but it's super impressive. So that was my blessing sampler. I'm just going to set that right up there. The first project that I started, this was on the 31st of December. This is Harriet Salt, orphan number 1628. This is from Hands Across the Sea. I was initially not interested in this project, just seeing it online for sale, but I had seen Narissa over at Narissa Stitching Lifestyle. She was working on this all last year, and I'm pretty sure she finished it, if I'm not mistaken. And it, I mean, just blew me away how pretty it is. So, let me grab my project card. I am stitching this 1/2 on 45 count Hazy Summit from Legacy Linens. I'm using 103 number 137, and like I said, it was started on the 31st of December. I did not get a whole lot started on this. It looks like I actually have a hanging thread. Oh gosh, this is a half yard of fabric. So that's where I got to, just the A and started on the B, but I did not start this at my house, and so trying to wrangle a half yard of fabric, it was not working. So I decided this is a project that I'm going to keep at my house. I'm not taking this anywhere with me. And so this is a beautiful piece of fabric. I don't know that I like Legacy Linens though. It's kind of tight. But this is the floss color that I'm using. It's like a nice, rich, yummy red. Because I didn't want it to be bright like the cover photo. Alright, let me try to wrangle. I'm just going to set it just like that. I'll worry about all this later. Alright, the next one that I started, this was also started on the 31st of December. I've had this one for, I don't know, maybe 4 years now. I've been meaning to start it every year, and I haven't. This is the Cardinal Sampler from Twin Peak Primitives. Let's get her in. The whites are kind of blowing out. That's what it's gonna look like. I believe I only worked on this, I think it was just that one day. I haven't worked on this in January. She's being stitched 1/2 on a 36 count Mystery Vicky Clayton silk. I'm using my own conversion on this, and like I said, it was started the 31st of December. Where? Okay. All right, and that's where I got to. Just the one night of stitching. I think this is Needs Mist from Vicky Clayton. Her fabrics are a little bit gauzy. I enjoy them. I think if you don't like the old weeks, you probably wouldn't enjoy working with Vicky Clayton fabrics, but I mean, really, honestly, I never really minded the old weeks, so to me, it's fine. All right, the next one, I told myself this was a second blessing sampler for me. I ended up not finishing it. I've got a hanging thread. This is from Heartstring Samplery. This is Precious Littles. And I'm stitching this one down here. The pattern itself is called Big Eyed Deer. And what am I stitching this on? It's being stitched 1/2 on a 40 count driftwood by Fabrics by Stephanie, and I'm using the DMC conversion provided. And this was started on January 1st, so same day as my other blessing sampler. And this is where I ended up getting to. So, not quite a finish. But this was a lot of fun to work with, or work on, excuse me. There were some, like the border and the chart, there were some areas where it was irregular. Y'all, I evened it out. And some of the leaves were supposed to be different, like sizes and shapes. I did every leaf the same. And then some of the colors I put in the wrong place. Because the chart is kind of small. It's kind of hard to see. Like, I have to, like, pull the chart, like, up to be able to see it. But, oh, well. I'm hoping that one, I should be able to finish that one in February. The next one, I've been wanting to start for a long time. Well, since I first found out about this pattern. This is the Berry Bowl Sampler from Heartstring Samplery. This is ideally supposed to be stitched with a friend, where one person stitches one half, the other stitches the other half on two different fabrics, and then you sew them together. I am just doing this by myself. I love a berry bowl. I love stitching berry bowls, so stitching an entire sampler of berry bowls, yeah, that's fine. She's being stitched 1/2 on a 40 count Crazy Hamster fabrics. These are being stitched with mostly my own conversion, and it was started on the 3rd of January 2026. So I started on the left side, which is on this lighter colored fabric. And that's where I've gotten up to on it. So again, a Crazy Hamster fabric. This is Oksana. She sells her fabrics in Facebook de-stash groups. So I got, well, I had these in stash, but I decided to use this one for the left side. And then the right side and the cover photo was stitched on a blue fabric. So I also had this in stash from her. Oh, how gorgeous is this piece of fabric? So I'm going to be doing the right side on this piece of fabric. And on this one, there's a little bit more white. So I think, oh my god, it's going to look so good. It's going to look so good. Let me put these two side by side. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't wait. That one's, yeah, I've got to work on that one in February as a love letter to myself. All right, the next one, this was a whim of a start. I was on Instagram and I seen that there was a free stitch along that Wild Dragon Crafts was going to be hosting, and it's a 2026 seasonal flower sale. These are flowers that are found in the UK every month. I imagine most of them probably can be found in the United States as well. I don't know. It's a mystery sale, so the parts are just coming out every month. Mine's being stitched 2/2 on a 32 count spun silver linen, and I started this on the 10th of January 2026. I've not quite finished the January flower. but that's where I'm at on it. So I had started the border, and then I think on the 15th is when January was released. The January flower. And this is all being stitched in DMC, the called for DMCs. So I'll have January done in February, and then the February flower will be released. Hopefully I'll be able to get that done. The flowers are small. Like, it's not like trying to keep up with the hats. There's no way I can do that. But I'm super impressed with some of the people that are doing the hats stitch along this year. Like, more power to you. Let me just take a little sip of my coffee real quick. All right. The next... Oh, well, I guess those are all my new starts. So now we're popping over to whips. These are in no particular order. Just, I have them in this basket that I put the whips that I worked on in the month, and I'm just pulling them, you know, as I pull them. The first one is Valentine's House Trio from Matte Waxing Moon Designs. I'm going to be stitching all three of these in a line on one piece of fabric, and I started with that house right there last year. And let me pop off the bottom of this snap so you can see. This is where I'm at on her. So I finished out, the name for this is escaping me right now. And then I finished out the hearts up here, that little whatever, and then started putting in Valentine. So my 2026 goal on this is to finish the center block. That I should be able to do that the first half of February. Let's get some details on this. She's being stitched 1/2 on a 36 count Lakeside Light Exemplar. I'm using mostly DMC, but I do have a variegated light pink, medium pink, and then a red. And this was started on the 19th of January, 2025. Valentine stitching really isn't my thing, but I think having one on the go for the season is kind of fun. So that is that one. Oh, and when I filmed my whip parade, I did take photos of all of my whips after I had ironed them, but I was in front of this window actually. I usually have my curtains open, but obviously when I film, I don't want it to blow out the color, the light. So I took photos of them. The colors are not accurate, but you can see, you know, the progress that's being made. And I'm going to take photos of all of these at the end of every month so that as I work on them throughout the year, we can see that progress that's being made. And then by the time my next whip parade comes, I'll have actual comparison photos from the whip parade I just did versus trying to take like screenshots of my video from last year. The next one that I worked on was Cardinal Kin. This is from Plum Street Samplers. I started this with a large group of friends the weekend after Jingle Ball. There are two colorways here. I'm doing the bright colorway. I don't know where my stitch card went. That's cool. it in the pattern? No, it's not in the pattern. Cool. So I know she's being stitched on a scrap piece of Lakeside. This is 1/2 on 36 count. And that's where I'd gotten to. I had to frog a stem behind her because I realized where my mistake was. So this one should be able to be finished this year. I believe that's my goal on this piece for this year. Of course, I don't have my project card. I'll show these next two because they are still in Q-snaps. The first one is Winter Wonderland by Blackbird Designs. I am taking creative liberty in making several changes here on this one. For one, the border vine is all just going to be one color versus the 3. All of the Missouri stars are not going to be stitched. The windows on the house, they're going to be moved and some omitted, as well as the colors of the house are going to be different. Yeah, so several changes. She is being stitched 1/2 on a 40 count footloose by Moonshine Stitchery. I'm using all of the called for flosses, just making changes of where I'm using those flosses. And she was started on the 5th of September 2025. So this is where I got to. So this month I know I finished out stitching the house, or the door, excuse me, and then worked on these 2 center birds up there, and that was really it. I thought that, you know, with these winter storms that we're getting here in the US, that I'd want to work on this a bit more, but I just didn't. I really didn't have any interest in working on this one in January. I'm hoping I do in February. This weekend we've got another cold snap. I mean, here in the Panhandle of Florida, the high today is 37. It's getting down to 22 tonight, and the wind gusts are like 20, 25 miles an hour. So it's cold. It is cold. I think the real feel at 7 a.m. tomorrow is supposed to be like 12 degrees or something like that. The next one that I've got to show is House on Blueberry Hill by Blueberry Ridge Designs. I remember I seen, oh gosh. She lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. I can't remember her name. Oh gosh. I will put it below. But I seen her stitch and finish this, I think last year or the year before, and it was so beautiful. I knew at some point I was going to stitch this. I did finish my yearly goal for this piece. She is being stitched 1/2 on a 40 count suede by Needle Bling. It was started the 24th of August, 2025. And my 2026 goal on her was to finish this top border, which I did. And then I started going down into some of those motifs there. Oops. So I'm using, about half of these are colors that I pulled from Stash. I did kit up the floss over at Creative Needle Arts in Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is one of my 2 LNSs. The other one is Creative Stitchery here in Pensacola. And the flosses that they didn't have, I just pulled from stash. So if you want that conversion, you know, you can reach out to me and I can give it to you with any of my conversions. So 2026 goal is finished on that one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to continue to work on that in February, because just like every Blueberry Ridge, they're a joy to work on. Next one that I worked on was my birthday start. This is Cicada's Song Sampler by Cosford Rise. This one came out at Market in 2025. This project is no joke, y'all. It's like up there with like a Rosewood Manor in terms of color changes. But the payoff is so good. So good. Let me grab my project card. She's being stitched 1/2 on a 40 count Landslide Intense by Moonshine Stitchery. I'm using all the called for flosses except I think it calls for Gentle Arts Carriage Black. I'm using Weeks Mascara, and it was started on the 30th of October 2025. My goal for 2026 is to finish this one. It can happen. It can happen. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think it's going to happen. But this is where I got to this time around. So I worked a little bit on that alphabet. I completely finished out that moth. And then I worked on some of the little motifs just as I was like finishing strands of color that were in the moth. So I'll get in a little bit closer. Yeah, this moth was no joke. For real. So the more that I work on this, the more that I don't think I'm actually going to be able to finish this one this year, but that's okay. That is okay. And I've already started thinking about my birthday start for next year. I think I want to do... Why is everything leaving my brain today? This one. I'll just pop it in. I actually ordered the pattern and the floss this morning for that one. That might be a birthday start for me this year. Which, looking at the cover photo, this is like not something that, like, it doesn't, the cover photo falls flat. But when I see photos of it on Instagram or somebody on Flosstube showing this project, it just blows me away. So that might be a birthday start for me this year. The next one that I have to show is Dog's Declaration. I purchased this as a PDF, so I'll pop in a photo of what that looks like. Mine is being stitched 1/2 on a 40 count Salt Rock by Color and Cotton. I'm using the called for Valdani flosses, except for the P10 Antique Violet. I am using Wheats Dye Works Cyclamen. This was started on the 12th of March, 2025. And my goal is to finish Life Down Through Pursuit. I got a good chunk done on her this month. So I'm in a good position to finish that goal, to be able to complete that goal this year. So I know I finished out those squirrels. I did those leaves in that bird, and then started down there on the and. I believe that's what that word is, and. So this one is just So beautiful. I mean, the Valdani flosses, y'all. And really, honestly, until you see them stitched in person, they might not look that impressive. But, I mean, honestly, Valdanis are, like, up there with, like, Weeks. To me, Weeks Dye Works, Weeks Dye Works are my favorite flosses to stitch with. I love Weeks. And Valdanis, they're up there too. I like those dry flosses. I'll go there. All right, the next one I did work on, my Mirabilia. This is Bluebeard's Princess. This is a goal to have this one finished this year, which I should be able to do. I think I should be able to have this done by June, May or June, for sure. And I primarily worked on her hair. I don't know if I mentioned my whip parade, but I am omitting this like crown thing on the top. I really don't think that it adds anything to it, so I'm just going to do the border around and her. Yeah. So she's being stitched 2/2 on a crazy hamster fabric, 32 count, using all the called for flosses. And this was started on the 6th of January, 2025. And that's where I've gotten to on her. So like I said, primarily in the hair is where I worked. I did a little bit of her skin, which I'm doing 2/2, y'all. I'm not doing the 1/1 skin. So I'll get a little bit closer. I need to finish out that seahorse there. You can see the Crinix in her tail. Her skin and that conch shell. Then her hair. I did color complete, I think 3 colors in her hair. I know for sure that that dark brown is completed, and then the darkest blue. There's a lighter blue. I don't know if I completed that one. But yeah, she is coming along. I'm definitely going to work on her as well in February. Because like I said, I want to have her done by May or June this year. Okay. The next one I worked on is another Blackbird design. This comes out of the Crowns and Shields book. And it's this one here. Really, these two are the same. One's monochromatic and one's not. But it's called Thinking of Thee. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm using all the called fors on this. I am stitching this 1/2 on a 40 count flannel flower from Fox and Rabbit. And here's where I am at on her. So I know I took the alphabet all the way across. I believe I did a little bit more of the border up top, but primarily I finished out this shield right there. And I decided while I was working on it, because this is supposed to be a memorial piece for, you know, loved ones, I decided to do my immediate family. So I've got twin sisters, an older brother, my parents. I think I'm gonna put my biological father, and then me and my sister's brother's biological father on there. So, but yeah. So 2/2, except for inside the shields is 1/1, which I did that as full cross. That was kind of intense, but it looks so good. Ugh. So this is a goal to have finished this year for sure, and it's going to go all the way across the width or the length of this fabric on 40 count. That's crazy. This is a big project. You wouldn't think it when you're looking at the cover photo, but yeah, she's big. So I'll probably work on that again in February as well. All right. My third to last one, y'all. This is Hannah Campbell, 1838. This is another one that I started with a group of stitchy friends. And I know my goal in 2026 is to finish this center diamond motif and everything inside it. So that's primarily what I worked on when I did pull this out, was some of the border, and then I did a few of the letters, the 1/1 letters, because all of those letters are 1/1. Most of the words in here are 1/1. So she's being stitched 1/2 on a 40 count crazy hamster fabric. I'm using the called for 103s, and this was started on the 29th of June, 2025. And that's where I've gotten to on her. This is a green fabric, green crazy hamster fabric, and this actually is true to color. So, wow, okay, I did more than I thought I did. I did 3 letters, all of that. I know some of that red, and then that right there. And when I pulled this out in January, I really enjoyed doing the 1/1 lettering. That was a lot of fun to work on. I wanted to keep going on this, but I also wanted to work on a few other things, because I have all year to finish out that center motif. I could have popped this out in January, or finish my goal in January. I was enjoying it that much, which I didn't enjoy the 1/1 on my Thinking of Thee, but on this, I enjoyed that 1/1. Next one is another Blackbird Designs. This is going to be a finish this year as well. This is Mother's Garden by Blackbird Designs. I'm doing this as a memorial piece to Meme. She is my stepfather's mother. And so I'm going to fill in the initials for all of her children, her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren. So it's going to be very full. I'm going to have many more initials than are on here. But I'm using all the called for flosses. She's being stitched 1/2 on a 40 count Salt Ash by Cedar River Linens. And I believe I did a fair amount on this month. That's where she's at. Is that a hanging thread? That is. Let me pull this needle through. Okay, sorry y'all. So that's where I got to. I thought I did more than this. I'm kind of surprised, but that's okay. I know I had taken the border over and then started going down this side. I did several of the birds I know. The second row of flowers, and then obviously that third row of flowers down there. That's crazy, because I had thought I'm like more than halfway through on this. I can finish this in February if I wanted to. No. So that's Mother's Garden. She's going to be getting a lot more love this year. I actually don't want this stitch to end. This is a really, really fun stitch. So I may actually end up stitching this twice for my biological father's, mother's legacy. We'll see. And I might do it for my mother's mother too. That's just, I just love Blackbird. And the last one, y'all. The last whip I worked on is Dasher and Dancer from Hobby House Press. This is another one that I want to get finished this year. Ideally, I'd actually like to finish this to be able to submit to the Pensacola Interstate Fair towards the middle of October. So I got to get working on this if that's my goal. So she's being stitched 1/2 on a 46 count squirrel nutkin from Tabby Cat Linens. I'm using Gloriana Bordeaux, Gloriana Lacquered Gold, and Swaddle Noir. And it was started on the 1st of October 2025. And that is where I'm up to. So when I pulled it out this time, I took the larger alphabet over and started on that Q. So I need to pull this out more often than I have been so far if I want to have this finished, fully finished, and then ready to submit in October. It's like the second week of October is when we submit, and then our actual fair is like the 3rd and 4th weeks in October. It's the perfect time for a fair. So that is all of my whips. As far as plans for February, I kind of went into those a little bit. I am thinking of a couple new starts, though I don't know. I do know for sure I would like to work on Marianne Farmer. This is from the Scarlet House. I'm stitching her with the Vicki Clayton Silk. I don't know if this was a pack or if I went through her like conversion charts and did it myself. I think this was a pack. From DMC or NPI to her flosses, which the conversion's phenomenal on this. So that's one that I definitely want to work on in February. A couple things that I'm thinking of starting. One is Harriet Elizabeth Coe, and this is from Brenda Gervais. I'm thinking of possibly starting this. Maybe. I've got it fully kitted. I have all of the called for flosses. I pulled a piece of, what is this? 40 count flax. So, possible start in February. Whoops. And then I've been eyeing this in my stash for a few weeks. I almost started this in January. This is, what is Elizabeth Broadhead 1833 from Fox and Rabbit. She is so gorgeous. So I've been eyeing this. I've got all the called for flosses. I have a piece of fabric. This is definitely a Moonshine Stitchery. This might be her newest fabric that she just came out with in January. What is that? Cloud Thunder or something like that. Of course, anytime Moonshine Stitchery puts out a new fabric, I'm immediate. I think I'm probably the first person to order her fabric when she comes out with a new color. So I did pair that with the flosses for this project. So maybe I keep eyeing this. I want to start this so bad. It just looks so crisp, right? Oh. So those are two things that I'm thinking of starting. Other than that, I'm just going to do like every other month and fly by the seat of my pants and see where we go. So, oh, the giveaway. I do want to give something away. We'll do the keyword start. Keyword start. Let me know if you're planning on starting anything in February. If you had a New Year's start, something, just let me know what project you've either started or are planning on starting, and use the word start. And come the end of February, beginning of March, we will do another $25 virtual gift card giveaway. That's the easiest thing for me to do because going to the post office is like not my thing. So excellent. Well, thank you so much, y'all. And until next time, happy stitching.